And here's the intro. Oh my goodness, who is that devil candy on stream right now? Super. Oh, it's called something else. It's called Super Salt instead of Salt Scum.
Yeah.
Is that extra
This is
salt?
the buffed up version.
So
Yeah.
just to catch everyone up, Ilker sent me a care package with a bunch of Swedish candy, and that lump of coal covered in salt was one of them. It was the saltiest thing I've ever had in my life, and Ilker loves it.
Mwah.
But welcome to Indie Games Social Club's year-end recap and holiday party, I guess we can call it. Holiday party? Yeah. But first, I'd like to introduce the lovely, the beautiful me. I'm so beautiful. Today, I'm Brian. I am your stream master and CEO of CD Projekt Red. Today, we're going to talk about the indie games we played this year, the friends we met along the way. But first, let's go around the table with some intros. Today, we are very privileged to have Sana showing her face for the first time. Sana, tell us what you do, who you are, and what you've been up to this week.
Yeah. I work with programming. I'm a programmer for a living, but I also love games. So on my free time, I'm currently working on my own indie game.
I didn't know that.
Hopefully to
That's
be
cool.
reviewed here soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's taking up a lot of my time actually currently. So I haven't played a lot this last couple of months.
Yeah. Well, so
yeah, I'm still.
We've had this indie game book club since about January. At least we were talking about it in January. And I had no idea about this with you. I guess because we usually talk about like our personal, like what we do like on stream, and you're usually hanging out in chat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I had no idea. What kind of games do you normally play?
I play a lot of. I play kind of mixed. I played mostly of the big AAA titles as they come out. I don't usually always complete them, but I do spend a couple of hours on them. And then I play a lot of smaller strategy games. I like turn-based strategy games.
Name a couple.
I played XCOM, every DLC and version of that. Actually, multiple times as well.
Oh wow! I wanted to get into them because I like the idea of tactics, but when I play, I am so bad at them that I'm like, maybe I don't like them. Like I tried Gears Tactics and it was beautiful and looked really cool, but I just couldn't get into it. I'm just not good, you know?
I got into Tactics actually with, I installed on my Android phone when I used to have an Android phone. I had this Game Boy emulator and I played the really early Fire Emblem games.
Oh, wow.
And that's what got me into turn-based turn-based games.
Yeah.
So then I just basically Googled turn-based games and XCOM came up and I just love that as well.
You know, speaking of, I think they need to make a Advance Wars. Like I feel like the Nintendo Switch needs an Advance Wars game, and it could be so cool, but they haven't touched that franchise in a long time. You know.
Me too. Yeah. I also know for a fact that Sana, you play Crusader Kings as well.
I do.
Hey,
I play.
Is that the random generated story game where like you can, or like people love to marry their cousins in that game or something like that? Incest game is what they call it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a mix of The Sims and like Civilization or something. It's like you want to dominate the world, but you only want to do it with your own kin. So you kind of
that's basically
a little inbreeding.
Interesting. So there's actual advantage to doing that in the game.
Yeah, because you want to keep like the power within your family.
Your dynasty.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So in summary, you've been playing a lot of the AAA new releases, as well as some indie games, and more so spending the time this holiday to work on your personal indie game. Very cool. Do you have a name you can share, or the theme, perhaps?
Yeah, a theme actually I do have. It's gonna be turn-based strategy because I think it's a good
Yes.
way to try out game mechanics in
Very
a first
cool.
game, like programming wise and learning how to build good game mechanics, and also because I want to play this game myself.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's a good first game. And the theme I kind of like. I studied. Now I forgot the name, but aesthetics of the female biker gangs in Japan.
I didn't know that was a
Um,
thing.
Wow.
That's so cool.
yeah, it's a thing, and it's super cool, and they really like mod their bikes, so they look really insane and crazy.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna use that, so you can like mod your
Oh,
bikes, and then they're gonna have different qualities, and
I got goosebumps thinking about that. I
yeah,
think
Yeah,
that's
that's
such a
cool.
cool fucking idea. That's really neat.
yeah. I think it's gonna be fun,
Well,
and I think it's important that
uh,
it is fun. So I really
it's a
finished this
Yeah.
project, and I think it's gonna be
cultural
finished in
thing.
March or something.
Wow, that's soon. It's like the
Yeah.
thing about it is what I love about indie games is that it can teach you about someone's story. It can teach you about other cultures that you didn't know about. You know, like I played this game earlier this year, something Rise of the Urus or something like that. It was like this Turkish fairy tale game. It wasn't very good, but like learning about fairy tales from Turkey was kind of neat, and you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that. I knew the Japanese trucker culture had the like super customized thing, but I had no idea that there was female biker gangs, and I'm excited to learn about that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's gonna be. I like that games can explore that.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's move on to the lovely, the beautiful Ilker. Tell us who you are, what you do, what you've been up to these days.
Oh, you guys know me. I've been doing this for a year now. I usually sit on my ass and buy ads on Facebook. I work in in advertisement, and when I'm not working, I lay down on my back and play video games, or continue to sit on my ass to play video games.
Wait, are you literally on your back playing games? What's your posture when you're playing games?
I usually lay down on the couch. That's my.
I'm like, I'm on the couch like Jabba the Hutt, like sideways, slightly leaning back. Every now and then eating a frog creature from the jar next to my couch.
That's basically how I do it. Yeah. I have a pretty like deep couch, so I can just change and lie on my side or change to the other side as well.
That's luxury. This is like pandemic conversation. Like this is what we do when we're cooped up and we're hiding our depression and just playing games and looking for escapism. What have you been up to?
So I've been playing a lot of games, and it's since I'm maybe you can tell by my background, I'm visiting my parents, and I've been playing a lot of Switch games lately, at least this past week. But prior to that, I played a lot of Yakuza, Like a Dragon on the PS4. Which is a different game. I haven't really played a game similar to that.
As they say, just to if no one knows what that is, tell people what that game is about and what it's like.
Sure. I mean, this is the first Yakuza game that I play. I know that the series is usually like an action game or
like a brawler, like a fighting, like street fighting, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys played Shenmue back in the days, I think this is what Shenmue would look like if it came out today.
Yeah.
And Yakuza Like a Dragon is that, but they instead of the action gameplay, they turn it into a JRPG. So all the battles are
like Final Fantasy,
turn-based.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. And you have like different abilities, and you raise stats like magic and intelligence and stats like that. It's hilarious, and it follows this story about this mobster called Ichiban, who is this low tier gangster. Is basically a henchman for his Yakuza family, and he's raised in a soapland. And soapland is a place where men in Japan go to be baited by women, and
like,
he's
like
born
like it's like a bathhouse but massage parlor at the same time.
something like that, and maybe there's some prostitution there as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Where do you find these so I know where not to go when I'm in Japan?
I have no idea. I've never seen one, never heard one. It's the first time I actually hear about the
Soapland. Interesting.
I don't know if they're like if it's a thing anymore. I guess it used to be a thing.
Yeah.
And the game starts like he's an orphan. Like he doesn't have any parents. He's been raised by the people that worked at the Soapland.
Gotcha.
And when he grew older, he joined the gang, and it takes place during the end of 2000. I think it's I think it's New Year's Eve on 2000.
Oh, interesting.
And like he really loves his boss, and one day his boss asks him to go to prison because someone needs to take a hit for a murder. And he's like, he gladly take it. He's like, I'll do it for you. Like you've been like a father to me, and took me off the streets and gave me a job and everything.
Wait, so what's the objective, the story objective of the game? Like, what's your character trying to accomplish for this game?
So the thing is, when you get out of prison 18 years later, nobody's there to greet you. Nobody's there to take care of you, and everyone that you meet seems to hate you that you used to know, and your boss doesn't even acknowledge that you exist.
Wow. Just like real work.
And exactly. And this is like there's this cultural like when he's been in isolation for 18 years, and he gets out and it's 2018, and like everyone's walking around with smartphones and selfie sticks, and he's like,
right.
What's happening?
Yeah.
He was used to flip phones, and so he gets this shock and like doesn't understand, and everything is like health focused, and like nobody smokes, everyone just running around with their e-cigarettes and vaping, and it's like he doesn't understand what's what people are doing. And he's trying to figure out what has happened during the time he was absent, and why everyone hates him. And like at some point in the beginning of the game, he gets shot as well, and left to die. And he gets nursed back to health by this homeless guy who joins your party.
Oh wow!
And
well, that's interesting because like I hope they explore it more, but there are these stories of re-assimilation, right? When you get out of prison, like how hard it is for some people. Like I remember watching this YouTube video actually this year about this guy that was in prison for like 20, 30 years or something like that. So he was in prison in like the 80s or 90s. And when he came out, he had like no idea how many people were on smartphones and how many people like would just aren't paying attention. They're just like looking on their phones, and he was just so shocked by it that you can get anything from your phone as well, right? Pretty wild. But re-assimilation.
I mean, they touch on subjects like homelessness and a little bit of prostitution as well. He like when he gets out of prison, like he doesn't have a home. He doesn't have anywhere to go. And after being shot, he's basically like trying to recover, and he's just on the streets and hanging out with this homeless person in a what I don't know really what he call it, like a homeless town. I know it's a thing in Japan, or at least used to be like cardboard homes for people living on the streets, basically.
Just giving some buffer room for Simon, the beautiful Simon, to join us.
Hey
there.
Hey.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Can hear you perfectly. You sound wonderful.
Josh.
Go ahead and get situated. But Sana, have you played Yakuza? I feel like our chat stream, our messenger thread had a few people playing Yakuza.
Yeah, no, I haven't, which is it's something weird with the style of the game that makes me weirdly not want to try it. And when everyone talks about it, it seems really good. So I think it's just, I don't know, I need to get into it style-wise.
Yeah, it's like
it's a bit of a threshold.
So weird, it's good kind of a vibe that I'm getting from a lot of people.
I mean, this what I've heard is that they go full on weird in this game compared to the other games, where they have like a few weird moments, but they try to be kind of serious.
Right.
But this is like just full on goofy. But also like when it hits when it hits like the serious parts, it's actually really really good as well. And again about the homelessness, like he tries to find a job, but he can't get a job because he doesn't have a home address.
And
So-
and you're ex-con, so it's even harder to
Exactly,
yeah.
and he doesn't have any money, so you spend like the beginning of the game just scraping for like under vending machines to find like
No shit.
broken change.
Wow.
And that's actually like it's really well made. Like
Wow.
it touches on those themes really well so far. I'm really enjoying my time with it, and I can't wait to get back home and continue to play it.
Oh, I love
how
that.
far in are you?
I would say I'm probably 3 or 4 hours in. The introduction is like that is 2 hours of just soap opera. You're just like running to the cutscene and just watching that, and then you run to the next cutscene and watch that. It's very dramatic, but it's in a good and a little bit sappy way, and I really really enjoyed the characters so far. Like there's a lot of likable characters, and I think Ichiban that you play is also very likable. Like he's a dumb guy, but he has a heart of gold, and like he has affinity for people that live outside the system because he was raised in a soapland. So like he usually takes the side of people outside of the system.
Nice. Have you played any indie games of note in this past week?
Yeah. I don't know if Sakuna. I don't think it counts as a indie game, but
Of Rice and
I can
Ruin?
talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally
That's
an indie
game.
game. Yeah, absolutely.
I
Showed
think
up on
it
my
is,
indie game
like,
feed.
I think it's just two people that like at
Mhm.
least directed it or I'm not sure about the developing process, but Sakuna of Rise and Ruin. That's a game on PlayStation 4 and Switch. I
Mhm.
think it's on Steam as well.
Yep.
Anyway, it's a super cool game. It's I would categorize it as a action RPG / rice farming simulator, and actually it's more complicated than I thought it would be when when I first saw the trailer like this summer. You play as this goddess called Sakuna, who's this spoiled brat goddess who's a noble in the kingdom of gods. And one day she messes up and lets a bunch of humans in, and she's punished and banished to an island filled with demons. And she's supposed to just bring balance there, and these humans are supposed to help her as well.
Yeah.
And her father is a war god, and her mother used to be a harvest goddess. So she has both the powers of fighting and
Nice.
farming.
Sakuna. What's the full name? Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Is that what it's called?
Sakuna
Exactly.
Matata.
Sakuna Matata. I'll play that one. Well, okay,
yeah, but
so
I mean,
there's the action RPG component, which is
Yeah.
kind of like a Metroidvania without the exploration, right?
yeah,
But there's also it's a farming sim. Like you have to.
and that-
You texted us a picture of flavor charts and like yield, and I was like, "Is this
Yeah,
the same
that is
game? Like, how do they
Yeah.
mesh together?"
when you get into the farming part of the game, that is when it gets really complicated. And then, like the game, it has introductions to how you do it, but you need to find it yourself in the menu, I think. And
Uh-huh.
also, if you buy the physical copy, you get a manual, which is really
Yeah.
rare in this day and age. But you get a manual to the game, and that actually explains how everything works. But yeah, they've turned everything, like every aspect of growing and farming rice into a mini game. So you do the tilling, and you do the what do you call it when you put the manure
Fertilizing. Yeah.
fertilize
Yeah.
the ground like before you even start planting the seeds. And like usually in farming games, you just plant the seeds and water them and then just watch them grow.
Yeah.
Here's like you do so much, and yeah, there's if you like sharks, there's a lot of sharks, and like there's so many ways to make rice, or at least to farm rice,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to get the type of rice you want. And once once you harvested all the rice, you start making the actual rice as well. There's also three parts.
This sounds like like a Second Life or like more work. The video game.
The way you describe it, it feels like 50% of people are like more and more interested, and 50% of people are like less and less interested.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect this going into the game. Like I'm pleasantly surprised actually that is like it's ambitious. I think that's the word for it. It's a really ambitious farming simulator in an action RPG. Like and the action part is just you run missions or like go out and farm for ingredients to make food and weapons, and like it plays like most of the modern action RPGs, side scrolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that game and I can highly recommend it. Another indie game that I played is Simon's favorite game, Valhalla. Cyberpunk bartending action.
Cyberpunk bartending game. I didn't know you were playing that. All right, tell us about it. Tell us about it.
That's the game that Simon refused to play because of his sexual.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this. I made one comment.
But yeah, it's that is a very chill game, and I'm really enjoying it. Like you play as this bartender called Jill. She doesn't run a bar. She just works at a bar. She has a boss called Dana, and she has a colleague called Gil, which is short for Gillian. Mm-hmm. And you basically just like converse with your customers and occasionally make drinks for them.
So I mean, like, I know it's a cyberpunk cocktail game, but like, what would you classify it as? Is it like?
I would say it is a visual novel.
A visual novel. Okay, yeah. So there's like a story you're getting through with, like, so it's not like you got to get the recipes just right and then get XP or whatever. Or...
You can change your human arm to a cyborg arm to make drinks better. And...
Yeah. I thought that's what it might be, but more story. Yeah.
It's just like if you make the right drink, you'll get better paid. But like there is a background story in like there's an ongoing story in the background, and it's told through your customers, which is a pretty cool thing, I think. And there's like this president of that country or that capital, which sounds like Trump. And there's also like a story with these two groups of hacker organizations trying to like down the presidential or something like that. I'm not that far into the game, but like again, the story is told through the customers, and I think it's a really cool way to tell the story, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
I remember
there's always like a one-on-one thing, right? Like you always meet one customer.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always, at least for now, I have 4 customers right now, and there's only been like one at a time. Right. And the music is super chill. And before you even go do your shift, you have to choose 12 tracks that will be played in background from the jukebox, which I think is a neat little thing.
So you sold me on that game, Ilker. You sold me when you put up that screenshot of that. I think it's a corgi with sunglasses that says, "You'll pet me sooner or later." They all do.
Yeah, dogs talk in this universe. I don't know the story there, but yeah, they can talk. And yeah, again, I think Simon, you would enjoy the music at least in this game.
I'm gonna give it a try. I promise.
I'm super excited about this game. Actually, I'm definitely gonna play this.
Yeah, I mean, it came out earlier this year or last year or something like that, and nothing but good things.
I think it was last year. Yeah, I would actually recommend getting on Switch if you have a Switch, because like it's a couch game. Like it's perfect to just lay down and just read the dialogue and,
awesome.
and make some drinks.
All right, what other indie games you playing?
It feels like I'm just gonna be talking, but yeah, I played a game called. I'm trying to read it from my list here. Kukiyomi Consider It. It's a game it's on the Switch. It's $2, and it's basically WarioWare, where you do a bunch of mini games, but every mini game is about being considerate, or just choosing to be considerate or not.
Yeah,
and it's just
It's funny, like when you go to AAA games, right? Like Call of Duty. Oh, we're going around shooting shit. PUBG. Oh, we're going around shooting shit. Fortnite. Oh, we're going around shooting shit. And then you go to like indie games, and it's like, yeah, you're playing a simulation of some guy's life that like lived in New York, not knowing the language, or I'm making cocktails for a corgi, or like all these like weird, wonderful things that indie games kind of present, and that's kind of like the heart of the channel, which is like you get surprised a lot, and that's why I'm really excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today, because we're recapping all these games that surprised us so much, and just really made me more and more excited to see every game that we've picked every month. But not to get too far ahead of ourselves. What else you got, Ilker?
I mean, I think that's all I have on the indie game wise. On the indie game side, I've also played Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity and some Mega Man X4. Actually, I went back and played that, and I also kicked your ass in Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yes, you did. Absolutely, no doubt about that.
round up the games I played. So.
Yeah. Cool. How about Simon, the lovely, the beautiful Simon? Why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you've been up to this week?
It is me, your favorite Swedish designer. I am. I've been. Huh?
Absolute.
Yeah,
absolute. Sure. I've been hanging out with my cask. So.
Oh yeah. Sweet original art from BIM.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So I can't really move. So I've been playing. I used to be stationary playing the end of this year, but I haven't played that many indie games now in December. I've actually started to play Final Fantasy 14. Which is a MMORPG for those who don't know. Sana knows because she's in it. Thank God for her.
You've been playing a lot of that game.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I started playing too because Simon gifted it to me, and I am currently on a European server, so I can play with you guys.
Yeah. But he's not on the right server because he wanted the greedy XP.
Yes, I did. I don't want to try.
What level are you?
I think I want to say 13, 14. So still, I'm a baby still.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Sana, you're 50.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm 50 now.
Final Fantasy 14 online.
Like if it wasn't COVID, I would be embarrassed of how much time I've been playing. Like
how many hours?
Literally hours every day. But yeah, it's been fun. I think the social part is definitely for me.
Okay.
What's that?
The social part of it is definitely, I mean, a big thing for me. Of course.
So what made me very happy was they have in the Final Fantasy 14 game the Karen haircut. And my only goal is to have a guild of Karens rating in Final Fantasy 14, and that would make me so happy. I will gladly pay any monetary amount to have a guild of Karens.
You managed to get a really good one.
What am I going to call the guild? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. The manager seekers. I don't know.
Well, in Final Fantasy 14, the guilds are called free companies, right?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
So and like I'm thinking like Karens, like I always want to talk to the manager of the company. Could it be something like a company of Karens? I don't know.
Company of Karens, love that.
I don't know. No, but it's been great. It's a really, like you say, Sana. It's like the social. It's been a really good time sink for when I'm not able to do anything else, basically, and it's fun. It's like it's a really good MMO. I did play World of Warcraft ages ago, so I can't really compare it in a fair way. But it's a great game. Yeah. It's.
I mean, World of Warcraft had a really great expansion out this month. Or was it last month? Yeah.
You've been all about it.
Right?
It seems like the first really like really fresh expansion in a long time, right? Like they added a roguelike element where like a dungeon where you can do multiple runs and stuff like that, right?
I think they needed that. Like they need to put content in there that makes like something that you can play without other people.
I mean, that game is like 20 years old at this point, right? That's an old game.
Yeah,
Pretty old.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
But yeah, so far that's a good expansion.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, cool. No, but I started actually it started like super. I went through my all games that I have installed on my computer, and I sorted them by last played on Steam, and I just like saw that this like whole kind of like journey depending on where in the year I was. So I started with like Homeworld, all the Homeworld games, like
Oh wow.
the old
The
RTS.
Space RTS, right?
Space RTS.
Yeah.
I think it was the first RTS that was like in like 3 dimensions, right?
Yeah, I remember the
everything else is
effects
just
looked
like-
really cool. It had cool particle effects and space battles. And
It's still
stuff like that.
decent. It's still
Yeah.
decent. So I played the one and I started on the second one, and I then played the one that's actually on the ground, where that's called Deserts of Karak. That's it's cool because like all of their stuff are like so big. So like when you play in the desert with these like you play with these small cars. Like you have like a mother car that's like a fucking, like a Death Star on wheels. It feels like it's like because they're like super huge structures, which is cool. Then
Nice.
I remembered I hadn't finished Half-Life 2. I always
Oh, wow.
got into like the very very last like step. So I played that. I played Children of Morta. That's an indie game.
Oh yeah.
That sounds so
was-
familiar. I think that was free on the Epic Store fairly recently.
Probably.
Possibly. But what's that one about?
I was
Ilke, did you play it?
so, no, I haven't. I've been hovering my finger over the buy button on the Switch. It's I think it's like an action RPG with a lot of characters. I think like someone compared it to Suikoden from PlayStation 1 era. Yeah, tell us about it, son.
No,
Very
it's
cool.
so I haven't played that much, but it's I would say so. I've been super hyped about this game for a long time, and I just missed their Patreon or their Kickstarter thing, so I couldn't like buy myself into the beta. Yeah, because I think it looks amazing. Like the pixel art is freaking outstanding. And it looks amazing. I haven't played that much, but the
What kind of game
the
is it?
gameplay.
Yeah.
It's a it is a roguelike, right?
Okay.
It's like
It's like run based, like you play and then play again and then play again and get better.
Yeah. It's like you. What's that game, Brian? Where you're an adventurer that the Moonshiner, right?
Oh, Moonlighter. Moonlighter.
Moonlighter. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
It's like Zelda with a
Moonshiner.
sword. Yeah.
Yeah, Moonshiner is another game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a Moonlighter. That is like you go out, you level up, you get new items, new swords, and then you can be like one of the like family members. You can be the sister with a bow or the dad with a
Right.
sword and shield, and
Yeah.
yada. And it feels that it might be. I'm feeling that it's gonna become stale pretty soon, maybe.
Mhm.
But I like it so far. It looks good, and I think I got it cheap. It's been in my Steam library for a bit.
I think it's on sale on most outlets.
Like a winter sale, probably. Yeah.
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 I mean check it out if you like the
Yeah.
look. I'd recommend.
Yeah, it's got. I remember it having this cool animated style, like very
Yeah.
stylized.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then
what else?
I played a Plague Tale.
Sounds familiar.
Innocence. It is a story, like single player, story heavy game that feels kind of like a the gameplay is that you're gonna bring your brother, like you're gonna keep your brother safe in these like hard times, like in the medieval times.
Uh-huh.
And there's like a plague that's like coming from underground.
Oh, is it a 3D game where there's rats
Yeah,
and you
it's
can
a 3D
control the
game.
rats?
It's rats. Yes.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
So
yeah.
so there's like it's really cool. I haven't finished it, but it's really cool. It's the like story moments and like the animations and all that are like, it's good. It's a good game. It's not like mind blowing, but the something with the how the rats, how they made it, like, because like they made swarms of rats, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
just like physically in like a video game space, like how you would model and make that work.
It looks
is
cool.
like it looks really
cool.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you can see the limitations of that, but like sometimes you see like almost like a whirlwind of rats, and you're like, holy shit, that's terrifying.
yeah.
So it's a really cool game.
Does Sweden
Then-
have problems with rats like New York does? I know New York, when I lived there, it was like super normal to have rats everywhere.
I mean, I've seen rats in Stockholm, I think.
How big
but-
do they get? Because New York rats, they're like small cats, basically.
No. I mean, I like this maybe.
Oh, like a
Like
hamster.
it's just a regular yeah, hamsters.
Normal plague carrying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if rats are a problem in Stockholm, but like, there definitely are rats. Like you can see them.
I mean, I
But,
don't think I've ever discussed rats as a problem here with
Okay.
someone.
Yeah, not like New York
Yeah.
where it's like another
Yeah.
roommate, right?
Right. Next to the cockroach.
Yeah. What else you got? What else you got game wise? Indie games.
So in the game, Townscaper.
Okay.
Have you guys played that?
No. Haven't even
No.
heard of it.
It is a super cheap game that I got from a recommendation from my friend, who was like, you guys, I'm super. This was like in the height of the pandemic, I think. It's made by a Swedish guy called Oskar Stålberg, and it was released in the middle of June. And it's actually, you know what? I see it's an early access game even. And I think it costs $4, and basically what you do is you click, you start with like a body of water, and you click, and where you click, like a foundation pops out, and if you click on that foundation, a house pops up, and if you click on that
I've
house,
seen this. Yeah.
like you get a 2-story house.
Yeah.
So you can basically just like click anywhere, and things will get built depending on how many things,
you click on it.
how many things are nearby, and so
Yeah, I saw a preview
you-
of this, and it reminded me
Yeah.
of like my new favorite word for indie games from Ilker, which is like, it seemed like a cozy game, right? Like you
yeah.
brew a pot of tea, you play this casually, and just it's very calming. There's no stress, right? You're just kind of building.
It
as you
was
go.
it was really like I played it for let me see, I played it for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Playtime 20 minutes.
yeah,
But it wasn't like 20. I think I played it like, you know, a minute here, waiting for something there. Just, you know, like maybe like 10 minutes, like some other time, just because it's like such a soothing thing. Like you get bored
Yeah.
of it, but
Yeah.
it's like it's
hey, you
just
hop in, no stress, no
making
pressure.
small like houses, and you're like, yeah, huh, cool. And then like
Yeah.
there's like pandemic stress is like kind of like, you know, has let go a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's see, I think there is. I did play Star Renegades.
Oh, nice.
So
I just bought
beside
that game.
Apex and Dota and Kentucky Road Zero that we played together, and we're probably going to talk about Star Renegades. I played. That's a. I would consider that an indie game.
What do you think about it? Because I think both me and Brian has played as well.
It is a, what would you say? It's a, they describe it as a rogue-like RPG, right? It's like run-based
Yeah,
and like,
I mean,
there's a time loop kind of a thing. I only played like an hour, and it was like great, and then I never touched it again. But the pixel art is probably the best I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, the pixel art is really good, and I also think that the combat was pretty fun. Like it was interesting.
It's different.
It's different. Yeah, it's a turn-based combat I haven't seen really elsewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
What kind
so.
of setting is?
It's like in a cyberpunky futuristic thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like you have, it's like in the future you have like advanced talking robots that are like inspired by Chevy cars,
Yeah.
and there's like this like evil like alien mother somewhere, AI or monster, who knows, that is like controlling all of them to like
Yeah.
to create like I don't know, like they want to conquer something.
You know, Sana,
And
you
there's,
might be into it because sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to cut you off, Simon,
Yeah.
but like it is a turn-based kind of RPG battle system with the heart of a tactical system. So that positioning is important, and
Yeah.
when the turn order in which you attack and support is really important too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I was
Definitely
so
sounds
it's
like my cup of tea.
yeah, it's like
Absolutely, yeah.
it's pixel graphics. It's like you walk into so there's like an enemy encounter per zone, and so you walk into a zone, have an encounter, then you pick the loot, go to the next one, and then the combat is turn based, but you can delay. It's like if you can push somebody's action outside of their turn, and then
You
that
can
will
make
like
them skip
stun
it.
them.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
really cool.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the like,
I mean,
and then like the
basically the entire timeline on the top of the screen, which is like this is the order that things are going to happen, and you can manipulate that and to your favorite.
yeah.
Basically.
And then what I also like about it is like it's like Shadowlands, right? Lord of the Rings Shadowlands,
Shadow of
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Mordor.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor. Thanks,
Right,
thanks.
yeah.
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 So that like all like have you played that game, Sana, where like there are different like chieftains and commanders, and if you kill so you kill someone, there's like a kind of like a enemy tree of, and if somebody kills you, they become stronger.
Exactly, they
Yeah.
level up as well.
Yeah,
cool.
so like there's that whole thing.
Yeah.
I actually started playing that one now because it was free on PlayStation Plus
Oh, nice.
now in September or something, I think.
Yeah.
So I actually started playing it very recently, and I've heard a lot about it before that. But now when I started playing, I haven't finished it. But it's like I missed a game.
You know, I bought that on
I haven't
PC.
played it either.
It looks great, but it was just so intimidating for me. The system seemed too complex from the beginning that I was like, ugh, I was intimidated and put off by it. But I hear it's good.
It's good. I also got it with the PlayStation Plus. I like it. It's I haven't finished it, but it's I got tired of it in the beginning because it felt like I couldn't escape all these commanders that were gonna, attack me while I attacked someone else. But
You're just getting bullied.
In the end, I liked it. And let's see. That's one game, and my last game is. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I started to play Surviving Mars, but I haven't played enough to say that I've actually played it. So
Wait, do you have Steam open in front of you?
yes.
How many hours do you have on Final Fantasy 14?
Oh no.
Because you're like, this game 20 minutes, this game 1 hour, and then Final Fantasy 14.
I need to watch that as well now.
Huh?
Yeah.
Till
Yeah, how many hours do you have, Sana?
Sana, if you can bring up yours as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Brian, you
check
should bring up
actually.
yours too.
Yeah.
sorry, wait. It is. Let me check it out.
Mine is 3.1 hours total. For me, that's a lot.
For what?
Final Fantasy 14.
How many levels are you?
And like one of those hours was the opening cutscene and tutorial.
Okay, so do you want
Yeah.
Level 5.
I mean,
time that by 100?
Wait. You're 300 hours in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But
Respectable.
okay, so
I
wanna
have
say
58 hours. So
58
Nice.
hours.
It's not bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that I had 100 hours in before.
Right. So no difference in time between broken leg and non-broken leg. Don't blame the leg. Got it. Sweet.
Simon, do you know where Yuan, how many hours Yuan has played as well?
Oh god, more. I
I
hope.
heard I think he put down a lot of hours into that game as well.
Yeah, I think. Wait, so where is he? One.
Yeah, Johan, he when he likes a game, he likes a game.
Yeah, it seems so, yeah.
I hope you're watching, Johan, because we miss you and we wish you were here.
Yeah.
Wait. So, can't Philip, Emil? Oh my god. Oh, Philip. Okay, so Philip has played 142 hours.
Yeah.
Not terrible. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
I feel
but
better now.
Nice.
Why
have
can't
some
I
hours
find
to, like,
him?
work in. Get in there.
I can't. Do you guys see him on your Steam?
Let's
Like-
see.
Like, yeah, because I have Final Fantasy here, and it
Kung
says
Corgi?
friends who play. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kung Corgi.
but I can't see.
I think
some.
he hid his stats because he's ashamed about how many.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because he
Could-
used to
could-
show it. Now he's just embarrassed to show his hours. Yeah, it says no information given, but before you were able to see it. So, Johan, if you guys aren't familiar, he is globally ranked in Hades. Last time he checked,
God.
he was like 4th in the world on a certain weapon. But
Something like that.
for
Wow.
a game that takes, if you're a speedrunner, takes 20 minutes to beat, he's logged like 300 hours or some shit in that game. Like a lot of hours. That guy loves that game. Pretty wild.
God, he hid all of his information.
Come on, Visa your score, Johan.
Johan,
How do you say show us your score in Swedish?
visa kuken.
No.
That's not it. That means a library. That's what Simon told me.
Yeah.
He knew that. I didn't teach him that. He knew that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well,
so that's my recap.
great. I'll recap my week. It's pretty chill for me. It's been all about escapism. So games, books, movies. I finished this book that I've been working on for the past 2 years, not because it's long, but because I read a chapter, then put it down for a couple weeks, and then read another chapter. But it's called The Escape Artist. It's a great book. It is, I would say, the Da Vinci Code meets Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. The premise is really neat. I'll just break it down real quick, which is, so since I think the Revolutionary War in America, the United States has deployed what's called a war painter up until today. So this is a real position by the United States government. They will send out an artist to go to the battlefield to paint the picture. Even
What? Really?
yeah, even on 9/11, this is a true story. Even on 9/11, all the planes were grounded except one plane was still allowed to go in the air, and it had the war painter in there, right? So someone went to fly in to paint the Twin Towers as they were burning.
Wow.
And so the main protagonist is a female war painter in this book. And the reason why it's kind of like the Da Vinci Code is that she's brilliant in her problem solving, because if you're a war painter, you get to see details that other people don't. Like, so if a guy has crow's feet on only one side of his face, that means he's probably a sniper from doing this, you know? If he walks covering one, like only moving one arm, that means he's probably holding a gun somewhere. Like, really cool stuff, really awesome, based on a lot of facts. Interesting book. Finally finished that this week. Started watching, actually the first episode with Simon, Raised by Wolves, which Ilker introduced me to. It's a Ridley Scott movie, apparently set in the Alien universe, and it's fantastic. Have you seen it, Sana? I had no idea
Yeah,
it
I've
existed. It's
seen,
so good.
Yeah, I started watching it actually last week, but I
Yeah.
got really sucked into it. So I've seen all episodes but 2, I think. Now.
Nice. Same. I think I'm like 2 or 3 shy of the final one. I spent all
Yeah.
day
Oh, wow.
yesterday watching, but it is such good sci-fi in that it presents these really cool, thought-provoking ideas, right? Like what is a mother? What is human? Like what's the value of religion and stuff like that? And it feels like old school Ridley Scott. You know, like just good stuff. Really good stuff. Watch Wonder
Really
Woman.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, beautifully shot too. Yeah, it's Ridley Scott at his best, I would say. Now, speaking about a director not at their best, Wonder Woman 84 is a movie I watched, which is on HBO Max. Did you guys see that?
I haven't seen, but I heard so bad reviews.
It is
from
a very
people.
fun movie at times, but I don't. I think its problem is that it never committed to an idea, right? Like if they were going to go, like why call it 84? Oh, like it's a clear nod to 1984 when there's no. It didn't feel like there was any kind of 1984 theme to it other than like, oh, hey, I'm going to broadcast a message around the world, which is loosely. There could have been so much potential, right? What
about the Panther Panther
Cheetah?
chick?
Yeah,
Cheetah.
she was underutilized. Her motivation was very like lame. And I'm like really like, I'm a fan of like.
Wants to see Catnip, or what's her...
What's that?
What's her motivation?
Her motivation was like,
or
I
what's
want to
her-
be desired by men and I wanted to be liked, right? Which is like so fucking shallow, right? There's this thing called I think I've only read it. I've never heard it said, but the Bechdel-Wallace test.
Yeah.
Which is like if it will pass the test if there are two named females that don't talk about men or something like that. And Wonder Woman 84, as groundbreaking as the first one was, the second one undid a lot of that work and made it like, oh yeah, her main motivation was for a boy. I'm like, come on, man. Like she, here's this gorgeous, successful woman in the beginning. I'm not spoiling too much. It's just at the very beginning, just moping around like, I'm drinking wine by myself and I need a boy. I'm so lonely after 40 years. You know, I'm like, no, you can heal in 40 years. You can do better than that, you know? She should be in like knee deep in orgies. Like, come on. Anyways, downvoted for the severe lack of orgies, in my opinion. Epic Game Store had like, what do you call that when there's a candy every day of the month? The advent calendar.
Like an advent.
Advent calendar of games. So Epic Games still has it actually. Today was an indie game, but the first one I got was Alien Isolation. They've had some great games for free. Today is Night in the Woods, which is an indie game. By
that one was
Infinite
great.
Fall. And so just keep going. I think through the month of December they're going to have free indie games or free games every day on the Epic Store. So I've been taking advantage of that. Another highlight not related to games was me and Ilker decided to trade international candies. So I sent him a gift box of American candies I grew up with. Not necessarily good, but what candies I grew up with. And Ilker sent me some amazing candies and one really bad one.
What was the best one that I sent you?
In my opinion, it was the what was it called? It was the Juleskum. There's a chocolate bar with the Juleskum, the perverted Santa in it. Yeah.
Yeah, because Juleskum is like a traditional, I would say, Swedish Christmas candy, and that you will see in most offices in the kitchen and most homes during Christmas.
Uneaten.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like it's this. You said it tastes like the texture was like eating a mouse mat.
Oh, mouse pad. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the chocolate version was fantastic. That was my number one. I would say the Juleskum, the marshmallow mouse pad candy. That was number two. It was pretty good.
Both me
strawberry.
and Beam were shocked that you liked the chocolate juice scum thing because it. She's super shocked.
It was great.
Yeah, because I put that in as a joke because
Yes.
I thought I was going to be disgusting, but yeah, I guess
I
you have
loved
some
it.
American.
The packaging could use some work because there was a picture of chocolate that looked like it had a human organ inside, and then Santa Claus was like high on Molly and biting his lower lip. All like
That
innocent
picture-
packaging, but yeah, it's not appealing, but it was very good. And then okay, Sana, you need to confirm this for me because both Simon and Ilker said that these are delicious, which is the salt scum. It is a pebble-shaped licorice candy completely covered in salt, which is what Ilker showed at the top of the stream. And it was so salty. I thought it was a prank.
It's a real thing. And actually, I think he also sent you because he sold you the scum, right? Scum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the thicker ones. Because those he's eating right now, those actually I prefer because they are like a bit harder.
It's all salt.
Yeah.
But no, we eat really salty stuff over here. I mean,
so
as
crazy.
we said on the stream, the candy eating stream, I really want you to try Djungelvrål as well, which is like the even saltier.
Oh, I'm down. If you guys want to do
I don't
round two,
know,
I'll try it.
Please.
Or licorice. That's. I mean, I saw the video with your family,
Yeah.
and they're still recovering.
Yeah, that
so,
killed
I mean,
me. That video killed me.
Yeah, like I said, they're still. Like I showed. I gave a tasting to my whole family, and I ended it with everyone trying the salt scum at the same time, and I filmed it for Ilker, and I said, "Everyone on 3, eat it." And they all ate it at the same time, and my niece was screaming and crying in the other room, and they're all still recovering, like dehydrated and on ventilators.
I haven't made a children cry in a long time. That was the first. Just seeing your niece screaming and just running to the toilet, and
That was pretty fantastic.
So funny.
That was really good.
that looked like he appreciated it.
Yeah, I mean that was easily the highlight of my my week, much less my part of my year for sure. It's definitely in there, And then as for games, I finished Kentucky Route Zero, which is our last game of the month. Finally, I shared with you guys the ending sequence is beautiful. Like even if you don't finish the game, look up. I'll send it to you guys in chat. But you're having a funeral for horses or cows, and there's this solo person just singing this beautiful song, and it made me tear up. It's just that game is fucking beautiful. There's on Xbox Game Pass, Frostpunk is on there, and I played that. I was like,
Right, yeah.
I started it, and there's not. Have you guys tried it?
I have. I haven't played enough though. But I
Okay,
want to finish.
so I played it, and it's not. They don't have like a traditional tutorial, and I think it's thematic that way, where you start off kind of not knowing what to do, and you're figuring it out along the way. And I was like, come on, man, I don't know what to do. I hate this shit. Like, what do I do? Losing my patience. 4 hours later, oh man, what is this? What does this do? Oh, gives me more wood. Fuck this game. 8 hours later, and I found myself playing it for an entire day. Like hate loving it, but I really like that game. It's very addictive.
Automatically, it's what I heard is it's a bit depressing as well because like all the choices you make is like it's either bad or just
There's
bad.
no great choice. Yeah, there's only less bad.
It's super punishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the same vibe as the passport control game.
Oh yeah.
Papers, Please?
Papers, Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? I get addictive quality. It feels like a Civilization game, like Civilization 6. you
Right,
know?
but you can't. I mean, you gotta survive. Like you can't just like bring everybody into the warmth. You gotta chuck somebody out.
Right. Like for example, like some of the choices you have to make is like, well, people are going cold and you're running out of workers. You know what you have plenty of? Kids. Yeah, plenty of kids. So you get to put kids to work, child labor laws.
Labor,
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But you bought did you buy or did you fund the board game for that?
Oh, I funded the Kickstarter for Frostpunk and I'm really excited about that because apparently I've seen some playthroughs of it, and it looks like a board game version of the game. It's fantastic. It's really cool. What
that's
else?
really exciting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
did you play it or have you seen it?
No, but it sounds a little bit like we talked a little bit about it, I think, before in the chat. But This World of Mine. Which is
yeah,
called,
that they turned that into a board
A
game as
lot.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that a lot actually when it came out, and I have replayed it actually also as well on. At first, I bought it on PlayStation 4, and then I also got it on mobile because it's really like it works really well just sitting wherever you are and just doing. It's really horrible because it's the same thing. Like whatever choice you make is probably gonna like hurt someone really bad, but it's really good.
Wait, so what type of game is it?
It's set in which comes back to what we talked about earlier about indie games being really good at telling like interesting perspective.
Right.
And this is the world is like war, kind of post-war or war setting where there's not enough resources and there's no safety and no state.
Oh wow!
So basically, you're in you've found some kind of shelter and you're just trying every night and day to not freeze to death. You need to get food. If there's children, you need to comfort them. Stuff like that. Trying to fend off people who want your food because they are starving too.
Wow. Wait, so is it management style? So you have to make sure that you're fed, and then you have to make sure you're not tired and that kind of stuff, or?
It's more like survival. Like you have to make it every night to the next day.
Oh wow. Is it based off of a real war? A real country?
I think it's supposed to be, if I remember correctly, when they talked about this, I think it's supposed to be a little bit like Eastern European commentary.
Right.
Like the Eastern European wars.
Yeah.
That's what I heard as well.
And I mean, you can tell a little bit like culturally, like how the characters are named. It seems like they are maybe in a Eastern European world as well.
Nice. Cool. One more game I'd like to highlight is Doom Eternal on Xbox Game Pass that I played as well. My friend Gordon,
That's a good game.
He started playing it and he like can't talk enough about that game. He loves that game. It is not afraid to be what it is, if that makes sense, right? The game says like rip and tear. And that's the thing, like the first level has you ripping and tearing people, and you like rip out someone's guts, and then you see doom, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, yes. It like puts its dick on the table and goes like, make as much guts and bullets spray as possible. And it's the most refreshing first-person shooter I've played in a while, right? Because it's just so different. Like there's a little bit of platforming, there's a little bit of like puzzle, and like, how am I going to navigate this room and get around? And it's great, and I heard there's a really good Switch implementation.
It kind of reminded me of the GameCube Metroid game with the puzzle elements.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe Doom is the first Metroid because like you're trying to find key cards. Like there are areas that you can't access, and you need to find key cards to access that, and you get. It really reminded me of Metroid.
Did you play through
Yeah,
it?
I did.
Nice.
I haven't played the second one yet, though. But I really enjoyed the first one. Like that is, for me, that was just like good dumb fun. Like
you're ripping and tearing, and you know what? You could tell the developers just love Doom because even in the sound design in that game, when you're tearing out someone's eyeball, you hear boop. Like this really cartoony pop sound, and like the way the demons scream, and they're just so cartoony. Yeah. It's a really fun time and like fantastic escapism if you're just looking to have some dumb fun and not think too hard about something, you know.
But so, did you play it on Xbox?
I played it on PC, okay. And my friend is playing on Switch, and he said it's great.
Because I bought it for PlayStation, and I don't think I could get into the speed of it or something. because it feels like Doom and Quake is like kind of the same. It's like very like high speed, like
Right.
jumping, shooting, kicking, like smashing,
Yeah.
and like it's maybe I should like try it again. But on PlayStation, like you just couldn't get into it because I felt too bad at aiming with the controller.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, like I play with control on
There's a
PC,
lot of-
and you got to be pretty precise because of how fast it is. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ilker?
There's a lot of kiting. It's a lot of kiting, like
Yeah.
an MMO term,
Right.
where you need to be moving all the time because
Yeah.
all the monsters are basically melee, or most of the monsters are melee.
Okay,
so
okay.
you need to be on the move. But yeah, I would probably play that on PC as well. That's what I did.
Well,
But did that come out this year on Switch? Was
Yeah,
that the
like
game that
fairly
was
recently.
the same day as Animal Crossing?
yes. Yeah.
I remember that being a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That was amazing.
It was.
I love the whole like what became of that
Yeah.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I think if you
I've
look
actually been
at
playing some.
what's that?
I just mentioned that I've been playing some Animal Crossing as well during this. During the Christmas
Oh, that was
holidays.
really good stuff in
I
the
also,
beginning.
I also saw that Sana has. I'm sorry, Anna has also come online, and I've been curious to what her island looks like.
Yeah, I mean that was amazing escapism at the beginning of the pandemic for sure.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, that does it for me. Those are the games I've played. That's what I've been up to. Shall we get on to the indie games we played in 2020?
Yes.
All right, let me make a quick transition, and here we go. And here we are. We're gonna recap all the indie games we played as our book club in 2020, and we'll start with an introduction to our first game by Ilker, Return of the Obra Dinn. Ilker, why don't you tell us about our first game we played? This is in January, right? I believe.
Yeah, exactly. No, sorry. We played in January, but we didn't do the discussion until February because I was in Japan at the end of that month, and I asked you guys to postpone the discussion. But yeah, that's the first discussion we did. We didn't record it, and so that was our pilot, just trying to get a feel of the chemistry between us. And
is this gonna work? Is it not? Gonna work?
Yeah,
Who's gonna
testing
be
the
the odd
waters.
man out?
Yeah.
I have the list here. It's this time by Lucas Pope, developed by Warp Digital and 3909. I don't know. It's a first-person puzzle game. I will say, like it's basically a puzzle where you try to figure out, trying to solve. What is it, like 68 murders on a ship?
Yeah.
Like everyone has died. Like all the crew on this ship has died, and you're there inspecting. You're there to solve the insurance.
Yeah, you're an
issues
you're an insurance claim agent, and
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out why this ship showed up with everyone dead, right?
Yeah.
And that
I
was
think. I mean, I'm sorry for everybody who joined the club, or that after we play that game, because I think that's the best one. I mean, like, just because it's one guy, the setting is hilarious, everything looks amazing. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I love it. I love it.
it was it was the perfect game to start off with, I would say, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The setting is amazing, and like the sound design and the puzzles. I think like the murders themselves are like everything from like a guy getting shot to like someone being eaten by a kraken. Like
It gets wild for sure.
It gets
Yeah.
really, really wild, and
Yeah.
I agree. Like it was a perfect game to start with, and I wouldn't have played it otherwise if we didn't have
Yeah.
this club.
Yeah. Well, I would say, so just a little bit of context, like Simon came and stayed at my place for a few days last year because he was in town for a wedding. And we kind of thought about the idea of having an indie game book club. We were like, let's just fucking do it. And so we ended up doing it. And I think the first person that Simon reached out to was Ilker. So the very first game was with me, Simon, and Ilker. And then Sana, how did you find out about Indie Game Social Club?
I think when we were at some party, Simon started talking about this club and said I should join. that was
Super
it,
drunk.
basically.
Sana, you should join my club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same party, but like I remember Simon talking about this on a party as well. I don't know if it's the same party, or if it was a different party, but yeah, I remember having this drunk talk with Simon about that.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
the lack of fresh recruits is because there is a lack of parties right now. But
Exactly.
Give me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So, you guys want to move on? Sana,
Yep.
did you play this game? Have you played this game? Return of the Obra Dinn.
No, but it's the one with the weird 3D pics, like
Yeah.
monochrome
Yep.
3D.
Exactly.
Almost like a
Yeah.
vintage Apple computer art style. Yeah.
Well, it's exactly like it
Oh,
because you can switch
yeah,
modes
exactly.
to different screens, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
You can switch between like different like
Apple and
Macintosh.
Commodore. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. Yep. Yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
Really cool.
Let's move on then.
Yep.
So in March we played Later Alligator. That's developed by Small Blue and Pillow Fight. That's a game that you and I discussed alone, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't
In
know if Simon
candlelight.
played it. Exactly. But
No, I didn't.
that's a you call it like a point and click puzzle game with basically just a bunch of mini games.
It was really charming. Yeah.
We played that. I think we did a discussion at the end of March, and that was right during the time there was like all these lockdowns going around in Europe, at least.
Right.
And I think I just had started working from home, and like that game was just that perfect sunshine that you needed while the world was ending, or like everything was just starting.
It was so damn cute. I would say it's a mixture between a murder mystery game and WarioWare, right? There's like mini games to help you solve this mystery. Can we spoil it? I mean,
sure.
Well, yeah, it's a murder mystery, but the mystery is someone's surprise party, and it's really cute. The guy's like super paranoid about being killed, but he finds out when he shows up at the end. He's like, "I'm gonna get killed right here." It's a surprise party, and it's so adorable. It's like so charming. Yeah, really cute.
Yeah,
game.
it's a super charming game. Like all the dialogue, everything that's like the text is so funny, and like all these puns and jokes are just spot on, and the puzzles are fun. Like they're not that difficult, and there's also a secret ending. Like if you finish all the alligator, if you like, you talk to your family, and your entire family, you're collecting pogs. Pictures of your families to put on this family tree, and once you finish that tree, you get the secret ending, and you actually get to know why the confusion or the mistake with the murder mystery exists from the film to start with.
I love
but
that.
yeah, that was a super fun game. It was just like spot on for that period. That was a perfect game for that month, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think maybe Sana, this is where you started. This is right around the time you jumped in on our next game, right, Ilker?
In April, we played 1980X.
Uh-huh.
This is a game developed by High Bit Studios. This is the game I think you, Brian, and me and Simon discussed, the three of us, and that's also like a game with a bunch of mini games, basically. Like they try to do different arcade games, or at least copies of existing arcade games. And there's also this ongoing story with this teenage girl who's trying to find out who she is, like trying to find her place in the world, I guess. And that is like the first game that I didn't really enjoy because I felt the story was incomplete. Like I guess the story was incomplete as well. Like it's.
It just they left it open to have like a sequel, but I don't think it did well enough for them to actually develop it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
It was just a great idea, poorly executed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think like it plays in the 80s, some sort of 80X, and it's about this teenage girl that like she's an outsider. She tried to find new friends, and she joins this arcade club, I guess, where like they go to this place through this arcade and play arcade games basically. And
yeah, and she's like struggling with her sexuality or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then these games
high school,
symbolize her journey, and like so when she's trying to pursue her crush, it becomes a rad racer kind of a game, and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that was the first game that I actually like. I didn't really enjoy the story, and the gameplay was okay, but not spot on.
Yeah, I think if we look back, I was stubborn, and I'm like, I wanted to like it so much. I'm like, it's not that bad, but it was like not great. It was just disappointing for what it could have been. Like I really wanted to be better than what it was because they were touching on some really cool ideas. They just never really stuck the landing, you know.
Yeah. Well, the next game that we played was Creature in the Well, developed by Flight School Studios. I don't know how to describe this. I guess roguelike,
action RPG pinball game.
Yeah.
That's a game for me that started as a like love at first sight, but then it just ended up with an abusive relationship. Because I couldn't beat the last 2 levels, and I started hating that game because it was so hard. Like the difficult curve just went off the roof. Like after that sixth dungeon,
it got pretty hard. This is a game that Darren, who was a latecomer to the group, shout out to Darren. Happy holidays! Congrats on you and the family. But yeah, he suggested, and I think he finished it the day we. to propose the game, right, or something like. He finished it very soon, but I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It was just the difficulty curve, the spike, huge spike for me, and I just didn't end up finishing it. And it kind of felt a little samey after a while. In my opinion. What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, it had.
No, I agree. I think I had problems playing it on PS4 as well. I didn't think it was really made for those kind of controls. I couldn't aim exactly, and that just became really annoying.
That is annoying, especially it's about precision and getting the perfect angle, right? That'll ruin it for you for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think what is or what like was frustrating, like you say, Sana, is the lack of precision, because feels like it could have been like super cool if you could have like mastered the like pinball jujutsu like thing, but being with like it felt like a lot of times I took my chances and like tried to create as many balls as I could, and then for like some reason every ball missed, so I would just like end up like not doing anything. I don't know, it feels like it could have been better in some way, but I don't know how you would have aimed like quicker and better,
right?
But
you enjoyed the brown color scheme of the game. There's brown and dark brown and light brown. That was wonderful.
It's I like the art style. The color scheme was kind of boring though. So because I like it's a very like simple, like a robot comes into like a town in a desert with like this deep well within that's like it's gonna generate happiness, right? It's gonna like bring everything back, but it's guarded by this big like anonymous weird scary guardian. Like there's a lot you can do there, but what I'm guessing is that they've made a lot with very little budget. And maybe like very few artists, or I don't know.
Right.
So I think I think it's a really good and solid game for being an indie game. I would say.
Definitely. I mean, it's well designed. I think it's just that precision with the controllers were not spot on. Maybe when it needed to be.
With a game where you need to be precise, the controls have to be perfect, right? Yeah. That's what bit it in its ass.
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna jump to the next game, and this is one of my personal favorites. Is the game that we played in July, Aviary Attorney. It was developed by Sketchy Logic and Vertical Reach.
I believe this is the first stream where we got Johan on board.
Johan, I think, and also I think Sana played this as well and joined on the chat. If I remember it correctly.
Yeah. It's just nice to kind of go back and see how our channel grew in this year. It was nice.
Yeah.
What did you say, Sana?
I think I joined on the chat on a later game actually, but I did play this one.
So this is a visual novel where you play as a detective, a bird detective, with your. I mean, it's basically Sherlock Holmes and Watson with your sidekick Sparrowson, and you try to solve. I mean, he's not a detective. Sorry, he's an attorney.
It's in the spirit of Phoenix Wright, right?
Exactly. So you still do some detective work and try to gather evidence, and that was a game with a super charming dialogue, and I kind of like that it wasn't apparent in the beginning, but it's actually rooted in real history with the Second French Revolution, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I thought was really, really neat. So really well-woven story, and I think the game actually, depending on how you played, how you finished the different cases, it actually develops differently.
Yeah.
From what I heard.
What was our general consensus of the game? I remember there was we're relatively neutral about it, but generally positive, and part of it was I think what they did with what they had, right? Like they had a very low budget and they were working with vintage, old artwork, right? And they were using that to great effect to tell their stories. So without having an army of artists, they did a really good job of presenting that visual style, right?
It's the same with the music as well. I think they just reused old orchestrated compositions.
Very cool.
I think that was a really cool game. You guys, what did you think, Simon?
No, I totally agree. I think I think it was like a double-edged sword. I think they utilized all of that cool old school, and because the drawings were basically based on or part of an old 1800s artist. So
I think we just took it out right off. I don't know if they redesigned it.
Yeah, like an actual birds with clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Or I mean, we repurpose rather. But I think that what we talked about then was that it probably limited the game a little bit, since
there you go. Yeah,
they couldn't create any more content. Like they had to make something up with what they had, which is cool, and I think they did a good job. But I think that would also made their I can't talk, but I think they could have had more creative, could have implemented creative ideas or characters or scenarios, or look into if I click this spot over here, I can walk into that room and see is there anything in the storage area. They couldn't do that now, so that
I mean, for what it's worth, the writing was fantastic. It was one of the few games I've ever played to make me actually LOL in real life. It was really funny stuff. Yeah. Really well written.
Yeah, definitely.
I think together with Later Alligator, that's the two most well-written games I played this year.
I'd agree. Yeah, for sure.
Moving on, the next game that we played in August, this is everyone's favorite indie game of the year, Rain World, aka Slugcat.
Our darling, the Indie Game Social Club mascot.
Developed by Video Cult. This is a game that I don't know what is it, Dark Souls platformer.
Yeah.
Played 20 minutes. this game and just gave up.
It was a game that was not kind to the player for sure, and it led to a lot of like frustration and pain for a lot of us. But the premise was very cool and very indie, right? The premise was the reason for designing the game was like this person was from another country in another country where they didn't speak the language or was not able to read, and they wanted to kind of capture that feeling as well as the feeling of what would a New York subway rat feel like when it's trying to fend for food every day and doesn't know how to read human signs and stuff like that. In that regard, I think we said that it executed on that vision perfectly, because it made us not want to go through that experience, much less the game. But it was also our most like we had the most reaction from chat. Like we got a handful of people in our chat that day. Yeah, it was very, very fun. And I'm thankful to that game for that. Although I don't think I will revisit that game anytime soon.
Shout out to all of our Slime Cat speedrunners out there.
Right. So I would say if Obra Dinn was such a great example of what an indie game could be in a great way, Rain World, in my opinion, is a great example of what an indie game could be in a less great way.
Like the idea is really good. Like as you said, it really paints the picture of being helpless in a world where you're like on the bottom tier of the
food chain,
basically on the bottom of the food chain. Yeah. But like the rest of the execution was not for everyone. I would say.
I mean, that's my fault again for the two duds. Mine was 1980X and Rain World, and I'm just a sucker for really cool pixel art. And I didn't even read the reviews. But you shouldn't let reviews color your opinion always.
No. Yeah. I mean, like we voted on them, right? So I think that everybody's.
I suckered you guys into getting suckered with me. On that
does anyone want to say anything else about Rain World, or you want to guys move on to October?
I'm good.
All right, let's move on.
I'm good.
October was a fun month.
October. Yeah, that was our spooky month. We actually did like a spooky game per week that we streamed as well, which was super fun. You and I did our first stream with that sweet 776 game. That was I was showing my dad yesterday about that game, and
nice.
Just, like, he was very screaming. Like, why are you afraid of it? You don't understand.
You don't get it, Dad.
You don't get it.
Bim saw that stream and she liked
it.
Go ahead, Simon.
Bim saw that when you guys streamed actually we saw it together when you guys streamed she was into it. She's a big fan.
Yeah. It was a fun game. Anyway, the game that we discussed, the big multi game that we did in October was Little Nightmares by Tarsier Studios.
Yep.
I think that's a game that most of us liked.
Yeah.
We had a really good experience with it.
It was amazing. I loved it, actually.
Yeah, the atmosphere, the sound design was great. The use of color. Simon, tell us about them colors.
Some good color.
Blue, red,
green. And I think we got to have Little Nightmares 2 next year when it comes out on one of our monthly discussions. It's
for sure
fantastic. That's great.
Did everybody play both scenarios or both?
I did not. I said I would, but I did not. You?
Brian,
I played through to the end, and I'm also about a quarter of the way through the smartphone game, Very Little Nightmares, and it does a great job of capturing the same spirit. So if you just want, like, if you're waiting for like the food to come or something like that, and you want to tap at something for a couple minutes, I recommend it. It's fun. It's good.
Cool. So you finished the Raincoat version and the other version?
Yeah.
Of
the other perspective. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
The story is cool.
It's technical issues. Yeah, I remember there were some technical issues with the game, like with the precision as well,
right?
And some issues with the depth. But other than that, it was a really cool game and aesthetically really I want to say beautiful, but also horrifying.
But I'd like to think that it wins the award for worst load times of any game we've played this year, though. Remember, like you counted. It was like, how long was it, Ilker, when you counted?
I can't remember. It was 1 minute and something. Like you could definitely go for a snack.
But everybody played it on Switch, right?
I played it on Switch. Yeah,
I think most of us did.
Yeah.
PS4.
And the loading times were bad on PS4.
No, it was. I didn't think about it at all.
Oh wow!
It was much better load times on PS4, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but also like what I felt, what I really thought about a lot after playing that game was that it really had the perfect length. It was really short, but still like totally worth the money or whatever. Like it was
absolutely
just like go in and experience it, and then I just wanted more, but I still didn't want a longer game.
Right.
It was really
agree.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that's a really good point. I don't know if we talked about but the length of that game is like it's perfect. Like a game doesn't have to be long. Like more isn't always better. There's always a good way to end a story, and it doesn't have to be that drawn out. I totally agree.
I mean, I think that brings us to I think Ilker and I had a supplemental partner stream towards the end of the month before Little Nightmares of Detention. I don't have a video for that, and it's not on the list, but honorable mention to Detention that Ilker played on stream. I was along with. That was a fantastic game that did not overstay its welcome at all. I don't know if you guys got to see the stream at all, but it was very powerful. It was a very good game.
It was. It's made by Red Candle Games, and I think it is one of the best games I played this year. I think it's one of my personal favorites. Just because the theme of it was so. I don't know the word, I don't know a good word for it, but I got so involved in the story and the history that it's rooted in with the White Terror and the Taiwanese modern history, and I started after finishing that game, after finishing crying.
It was heavy.
It was really heavy, and after that I just I sat I lay down on my bed for 2 hours and just read about Taiwanese history and what happened after the World War II.
Yeah, so the game, for those people wondering, is called Detention by Red Candle Games, and it is what would you call it? Investigative adventure game, but it's point and click adventure, maybe at best.
Yeah, I would call a horror point and click adventure.
Yeah, no frills. It does nothing new, but it takes place around the White Terror era in Taiwanese history, which is like a 30-year period of martial law or something like that, which is a real thing that happened. And it includes a lot of Chinese superstition and religion and ghost stories and stuff like that. So I actually got to bring a little bit of what I grew up with to Ilker's playthrough, and it kind of gave him a little bit of context, Yeah,
I really appreciated that. That was really fun to play with you, because you had some context with all these small things that was just hitting in the background, like the statues and the ghost money that you burned, and the rice that you put on for the ghosts. That was it was nice to have a context and sit with someone I recognize that from my childhood.
Yeah, I mean that movie, for how indie it looked, I guess was huge success in Asia because they made a movie, which I can't find anywhere for the life of me. I would love to see the movie. But Netflix currently has a sequel to the movie/game, and I think it leans a little bit more horror than suspense drama. But I'm digging it so far. I'm about 3 episodes in, and I think I'm going to keep watching it. But I recommend it.
What's it called?
Detention.
Detention. Yeah.
Detention. Oh, the series is called Detention too.
Yeah, exactly. And they release 2 episodes every Saturday, I think, and it should be the 2 last episodes should be up right now. It starts really confusing because it's a sequel, but it gets really interesting. It's worth watching at least two episodes of it. And before you make your
Yeah.
make your mind. Make
Watch,
your mind.
but first watch me and Ilker giggling and screaming like children on that stream as the precursor to the Netflix show for sure.
And then just turning silent by the end of that game, just like
Yeah,
taking in all the head.
Right.
Okay, so November.
moving on.
Oh, did you want to talk about the second mini stream that you and I did, the mini discussion?
Yeah, like Ilker recommended early on in the year, not even in Halloween times, Doki Doki Literature Club, and I had never heard of that game. It is the type of game is a game that I hadn't heard of either. I don't know if you guys have heard of dating sims, but you're like clicking through trying to like romance someone, choosing the right options and stuff. But this is like a horror game, and you slowly see the psyche of your main character break down until, like, spoiler alert, she kills herself, and the game gets fucking crazy. It has to go down as probably the most unique gaming experiences because in order to beat that game, you have to go into the file system of your actual computer and delete the file of the bad guy, then start up the game, and then you defeat that bad guy. It's crazy. It was so meta and so fucking cool. Like, it makes me smile just thinking about it. And also, it scared the shit out of me. But I love
that.
It fucks with your
Yeah.
head. That game. It's crazy. It was really cool original design. And I don't think it can't live anywhere but PC in my opinion. Because how do you do that? Delete files on your Switch.
Yeah.
You know, it's strange. But yeah, that was cool. That was really fun.
That's a game that I played 3 years ago, and when it came out, and it got such a huge following that year because it was so unique, and I can't recommend it enough for, like, I want people to play, but again, it's so hard to talk about that game without spoiling what happens, because you're just gonna say, oh, it's a dating sim, and like, oh. And the reaction you usually get is like, I don't play dating sim. It's for nerds.
Because the first hour, I was like, "What is this? Come on!"
But like, it really does lull you into like a false state of control or safety until it like just rips off the math.
We have the playthrough and discussion, I believe, on our YouTube channel if you guys want to watch. But they're there.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Sounds cool.
That was a cool game.
Played,
What'd you play?
I think it's called Dream Daddy.
Oh, is that a dating
Like,
sim?
Yeah, like you're this dad, and you're a single dad, and you have a kid, and you're trying to date other single dads.
Oh, interesting.
I've heard about this.
And married dads, actually.
Wow.
And it's more. It's not like the gaming experience isn't like amazing, but it's a bit. It's fun. It's just like to kill an hour.
Also, it's a nice twist to the traditional like awkward high schooler trying to date like another awkward high schooler.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I heard really good things about that as well, and I think it's really well written as well. I haven't played it, but yeah, I definitely should.
Looks
So
awesome.
moving on to the last game that we played in November, that's Kentucky Road Zero, developed by Cardboard Computer.
Yep.
Do you guys want to talk about it? Because I didn't get a chance to play that.
Yeah, sure. It is. I don't know. I finished the game and I still don't know what the hell it's about. But the general premise is this guy's got to make a delivery to this place on Dogwood Drive, and you're trying to find out. And it's very Twin Peaks. It's very magical realism, and it wears that theme on its shoulder because there's so much weird, funky symbolism. Like on stream right now, there's a gigantic eagle, and they don't really explain. There's a gigantic mammoth that's piloting a boat, and they don't really explain. And it was a very unique experience, and I enjoyed it. It was is at times very slow, but just different, and I enjoyed it. What about you guys?
I haven't played it either. I'm like right now downloading it.
Oh, nice! Catch up and join us on the combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so. I can't believe that such a small team made this game, and
Right.
I want the writers of this game to freaking do more things, because I think it's so good. Like it's great. Even in its like weirdness and in no, like improbable and like impossible things to explain, and like story, God, like events that unfold. Like you're like, well, this kind of makes sense, but it doesn't, and like I think I get it, but I don't. Like that, like usually it feels like things that are supposed to be like too weird for you to understand are so far out there that they just don't make sense at all. While here, it feels like they made them weird in a way that you feel like there is logic to it, but you're just not smart enough, or
Yep, that's
you're
me.
just not like. Well, no, I mean, like, not that you could solve it, but as a player, but it feels like the universe could be there somehow.
Right.
So it's super fun, super great.
It's beautiful. Beautiful too.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can't give this game like praise enough.
Amazing music, soundtrack.
Yeah,
Really
just
good.
amazing scenes. Like so many times, I just like dropped everything and I sat there, and I was like, yeah, fuck, like shit. Sorry, like this is so good. Like why am I here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good. Yeah, they're like when I finished the game yesterday, the final song before the credits roll was so beautiful that I try to get a little bit of sun every day. Like if I stay home playing video games all day, I got to step out and get some sun. So I took my sun walk to warm up a little bit, and I just put on my headphones and listened to that song on repeat while I walked around the block, and it's so beautiful, so nice, haunting, if you will.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Oh God. Hey, good
If you
game.
like Twin Peaks. Go ahead.
I guess that's the newest game that we played there, because that game basically came out this year, because it's been episodically, and the last episode was released this year.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a good time to play that, and I think it's also on sale, both on Steam and other
It is.
outlets.
I feel like
As well.
it would have benefited from being if we had played it in real time, like we played the first chapter, analyzed it, talked about it, and then like a year later, the next chapter would come out. Because playing it all the way through, I got kind of fatigued, to be honest with you. And so like I would say in the like overall fantastic experience, there were a few hours where I was like just speed running through the dialogue, where I'm like, I don't really care, you know. But
I think that would probably have been a good way to play it. I remember listening into the discussion. I was like, you guys lost me like 20 minutes in, and I didn't understand.
Yeah, it was pretty funky. It had its moments.
But it's like how they, just like visually, like the models, like the partially like how they portray the characters, how the it's sort of like a if you would have like made Paint, like Windows Paint, into a 3D engine.
Yeah.
But that's basically what it feels like.
Right, very simplified.
But then it is, I think it is 3D, right?
Yeah. Low poly.
But then you have elements that are 2D, so like everything like blends together, like trees and brushes all have like their same kind of like, they're made out of triangles.
Yeah.
In a way that makes sense to the rest of the world, and then
but
like
it works
the UI
so well,
is
right?
super clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm amazed at the music is, and the art is like fucking blowing my mind still.
yeah, I think every single set piece, even if you're watching the trailer on the stream, would make an amazing like just piece of art that you would hang on your wall. Like I kind of want to see if I can do that, because some of these shots are fucking beautiful. You know?
Actually, in the game files, you can find like huge images.
Oh
Of,
no way!
yeah. I forget where they are now. Wait.
I gotta find that. That's really neat. Get a couple of them printed out.
Yeah, it's the in Steam Apps Common Kentucky Route Zero /wallpapers. So they have them ready.
Good to know. All right, so how about this? I think that does it for our recap and what we played for 2020. Any other final thoughts before we move on? No. All right. So how about this? We'll take a quick little transition, and we're going to talk about. I want to personally know what your games of the year are. Like, it doesn't matter if they're indie game or not. Like, what is the most memorable, the best game you played this year? And then after that, we can talk about. Let's see if we can vote. Even though we're not all here, but at least the people that are in this room right now, we can all vote on the Indie Game Social Club Game of the Year. How about that? After that?
Oh, that's going to be another 2 hours of discussion, I think.
But I'm going to take a quick transition. Give me 5 seconds, and here we go. All right. Now that we're done with our recap of indie games we played this year, let's talk about our personal games of the year. Why don't we start this time with Simon? Tell us about what the best game you played this year was, whether it is indie or not.
I think the best game this year. Wait, I just gotta double check.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure it is going to be. So I think this year, like what I'm basing my nominee by is because I like nobody has been able to hang out like regularly.
Right.
So it's been weird fucking ass times. So any games that has made me like be able to like hang out and share my time with people has like had like a bigger impact on me now than before.
Yeah.
So I think actually like the best game I played this year is Sea of Thieves.
Really?
Because because
That's a very social game.
It became like a thing that me and my friends Elon and Christopher play like almost like once every week.
Nice.
Because usually we hang out with like his kid and like we walk Elon's dog. Like it's this whole like latte dad moment like we usually have. But now it's like that didn't happen. So like somehow we figured out that everybody liked Sea of Thieves, and it's a really cool, fun game when you actually get together and kind of like
It's
role play into it.
It's a bit of a looter shooter, right? Kind of like Destiny.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's not. It's more of a God. It's more of a yeah.
Like you get quests and then like you like
You get
dig
quests,
for loot
but
on
you lose everything that's not like currency basically when you log out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So basically, what you can do is you can find cannon balls, and you can find cursed cannonballs.
Yeah.
You can like put them on your ship and you can shoot them, but then when you log out and you log it back in, like your ship is like as a standard ship.
Oh,
and you can't get a better ship. Like everybody has access to like the smallest, the medium, and the large ship.
Right.
But the smallest one is fastest. The biggest one has most cannons.
Yeah.
And you can only be 4 people in the crew. So like you can't really like you can't get chased down by this like huge like warship. But so you can like because some people have put in 1,000 hours.
Right. Yeah. You don't get punished for not playing as much as other people. Right.
Right. And then you can go as and you can like focus on like PvE. You can be like you can be doing missions for a PvE faction. You can do things like treasure hunting, and so then you like find maps to like an actual like tomb. And then you have to solve puzzles into the tomb. Be like, shit! Like I gotta find this like little coin. I gotta put the coin in the right slot, and then I gotta match the monkey symbols. And then if you do it in the right time, you get the treasure. If you don't, like the chamber will like close down and you will drown in it. Yeah. So it's like you got like a lot of like different, and then you can be like a bad guy team, and you can just hunt down people who have already collected treasure.
Yeah. Loot and plunder and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So and it's super fun together. It's really fun if you choose to play with the distance microphone thing.
Oh yeah.
So you like
the farther away you are, yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then you have like a little megaphone that you can use.
Yeah.
And it's also surprisingly well done. Like they make it feel that the whole world is full of things to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that's gonna be my number one.
Sea of Thieves. Nice. All right. Well, Sana, tell us about the best game of the year for you.
I think I have like 3 categories still. Like one that I played that worked really well for social stuff. One that I have thought a lot about, but I'm not sure if it's good or bad. And then it's of course the indie game social club category, because the best one there was actually also kind of one of the best games for me.
Ooh, oh wait, don't spoil it yet till we get to the
no,
indie
so
game.
I'm not gonna spoil that one.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna mention actually Last of Us 2. I think it really had. I'm a little bit torn thinking about it, but still, like game wise, it's. I'm really impressed by how good they are at game design. The mechanics, the AI was. I mean, it was a joy moving around like in that game. And but I'm not. I don't know what I think about the story yet. But I have been thinking about it like every week.
I don't know if you follow Video Game Donkey on YouTube, but he's like,
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, but he makes great points in critiques. Right? It's like there are other like Red Dead Redemption, like great game overall, great story and stuff like that. But it's kind of paint by numbers. Like Grand Theft Auto, same thing.
Yeah.
And then you look at Last of Us, and you might not be happy with the outcome of where the story goes, but you fucking remember everything that happened in that game.
Yeah.
It's that impactful, right? And just because you don't like a character doesn't mean that that's not a bad character, right? Like that's a good character design if you hate a character, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the points he made, and I completely agree with that. It was such a memorable, emotional experience that by the time I got to the end of the game, I felt exactly the same as the protagonist. I was like, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm just tired, you know? It was really good.
Was like, I remember just like, I'm just so tired and like sad, and I just like don't even want to like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Last of Us 2. Like, but it like I still think about it, and like I remember almost every scene still.
Oh my God,
it definitely had something
I gotta play
for me. It was
Simon, you haven't even touched it yet.
I know.
Well, okay, even the opening 5 minutes of that game where Joel is playing the guitar, I was like, my mouth was open, and I was like, this is a fucking beautiful game. And then you're even playing the guitar on that little pad on the controller.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
It's amazing how it's just really well made. I mean, I'm super impressed by that. And then socially, I played a lot of games. I mean, I'm really into Apex.
Apex Legends.
For some reason, I just find it hilarious. Like, and I'm really bad at it as well. Like, I'm really really bad.
Yeah.
But I still like sometimes I just laugh so hard at situations that occur in the game playing with other people, and it's just
we should all play. I think
I don't know, it's a silly game.
Simon told me that Johan is like also a globally ranked person in Apex as well.
Insanely good at it. Like he can carry you to the top, like while you're just doing nothing.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I saw his recap. He's like god tier.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, actually.
Yeah. That's a great one. I feel like that game I like of all battle royales. For some reason, it's like sticky to me, but like not as many people as I want play that game. Like I think it's you guys and then me on my side, and my cousins.
All the pros.
Into it. Right? Yeah, exactly.
All the cool guys.
All you PewDiePies over there. Yeah.
We should try to play some of that Spellbreak again.
Oh my God! Yeah, there must have been an update.
Yeah, there's been a few updates, and yeah, that was also really fun. Like as Sana describes, like you get in some really hilarious scenes, battles.
Yeah. It's really cool. But if you get a good play in that game, it's so satisfying. So good.
Yeah, but it's also like super fun. Like when 3 really bad players go in there and try to win a game.
we were trying to chase this one person for like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yes. I love it. I almost forgot that game existed. Too bad. But I'll hop in again for sure. I guess it's my turn. I have one game for Game of the Year for me, and it has haunted me and stuck with me. And it was one of those games where it's like, shame on me that I put it off for so long not playing, which was What Remains of Edith Finch. And have you guys all played that game?
No.
No.
Oh my god. It haunts
It's on the
me.
list.
It
It's on the
haunts
list,
me. Okay, so it's been on a lot of people's list because people say, "Oh, you got to play it. It's so good." But then you look at the gameplay, you're like, "It's a walking sim, right?"
Hold on. This is a.
It's that one.
Is this a follow-up to another game?
No, there is a follow-up to that game, but it's not in the same world. But that game studio, the Swan, the Unfinished Swan. But they have that studio kind of uses the same art style in all their game art, but the games are not related. But the premise is you are this heiress that is going to this house to, I guess, that her family grew up in, and she's reliving all the memories. And by, say you walk into a house, you pick up a picture frame, and you're like, oh, that's my Aunt Betsy. And then you go through the dream sequence on how she died and how she lived her life, right? And each story is so unique and so crazy. So, like, I'll give you an example of one of the relatives that you relive her memory of. It was a movie star that was famous for being in slasher films. So the level that you play reliving her story is like a B-movie comic book. And it's like almost like Doom, the way you're playing it and stuff like that. And you see the way she dies. And there's this one that like broke my heart. You start off from the perspective of this baby playing with the toys in the bathtub and stuff like that. And like the mom's in the other room and she like comes back in to like check on you and you're like playing with the toys. And it's a really fun level. You're like using your mouse to like make the toys dance in the bathtub and stuff like that. And then you throw the ball up and it lands on the faucet and you don't realize that it turns on the faucet. And then it gets, the mom leaves to the other room to argue with the dad. And then the world becomes an underwater beautiful world and you're swimming, trying to follow this frog. And then you get into how the baby fucking died and you're living through that experience. It drained me emotionally playing that game. And that was like, it's a huge spoiler, but there are more moments like that. And I think we talked about it on one of the streams where there comes a moment, and when you play a certain indie game, when you play a certain game in general, or read a book or read a movie, and you finish it and you close that book and you're like there's that there has to be a word for it, right? That very satisfying feeling when you finish a game and you just kind of contemplative, right? Yeah. And I was just like that for hours after that game. It was so emotionally taxing, but it was very beautiful.
It looks a lot like The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
I wonder if they're related. The Vanishing.
It has the same kind of style. I feel like.
Yeah, like the title seems like.
Yeah, very similar. Actually, yeah, they look like very similar. I think they're different studios, though.
Huh.
Perhaps. Yeah, it's different studio. I wonder if it's like a spiritual successor, maybe. But the title treatment is very similar. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch. They're like very similar typefaces.
Right.
But it's got great reviews, and I'm addicted to walking sims now. So probably after this stream, I'm going to play Firewatch for the first time.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yay, nice.
Yeah. Good game.
From what I hear. I mean,
it's perfect. You can do it in one sitting.
Yeah. So, okay, that's great. I'm going to play that for sure. And then there's another one that came out on Game Pass recently that is a walking
Oh, yeah.
sim that is kind of like the 1920s pulp novel style, and it's supposed to be really cool. And it got great reviews as
Call
well.
of the Sea.
Call of the Sea, yeah, that's on Game Pass, and it looks
Yeah, I have a
beautiful.
friend that talked about it as well.
Call
Really
of
addicted to that.
the Sea.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I might stream my playthrough of that. It's been a while. Gordio, you played. Gordio in chat says I played Firewatch. That's the only walking simulator I played, and I enjoyed it. Thanks for your contribution, Gordio. I'd appreciate if you smush that follow button. That would go a long way in us to making affiliate status. If not, thanks for your contribution. I forgot there's a. Hey, Gordio is now following us. Thank you for the follow. Thanks for smushing that follow button.
Thank you, Gordio.
Yeah.
Did you slap it or did you smash it?
No smash. There will be no smashing here. Only smushing and slapping.
No.
Squishing.
Am I next
Screaming.
for my game of the year?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it short. For me, it's quite easy. Detention is definitely up there with the games that affected me most, and like you described, like the game that they contemplate after finishing, and then just like think about the people and the characters and the story. But the game that I thoroughly enjoyed this year, that is not an indie game, was Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was like. Okay. I'm a sensitive guy. I cry a lot when I watch movies and series and play games, and that is a game that like get me crying.
No way. Wait, in what part in general? Because it's been years.
I have so many fond memories from the original, and
every battle.
They also do a really good job with like developing some of these characters, and I think they really did a really good job with Aerith and like her background, and like how she like she's used to being deserted. Like her mom dies and then her boyfriend dies, and like that's a girl that she just needs a hug from someone. Like someone just needs to stop what they're doing and just give her some love.
Did they change the dialogue in the new one? I feel like I don't remember that.
Yeah,
like everything is new about the game. Like it's a remake. Like no. It's going to be a spoiler, but it's a remake
story-wise. Yeah,
of the story, and yeah, I think they did a really, really good job with that remake. Like it's a completely new game, definitely, and it's just like it's you could see it as a game in the same universe but in a different timeline, basically.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I'm not gonna talk that much about it. Like it's already like people have already talked about this game a lot. But shout out to our friend Oscar Kalén, who worked with the lighting of this game, who I hang out with in Japan last year.
You Swedes are taking over the game industry.
Yeah.
But again,
we
like
are coming.
An honorable mention to Detention as well. It was a really, really good game.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Cool. God, we've played a lot of great game this year. Even outside of the Indie Game Social Club, it's been fantastic.
Definitely.
Yeah, this channel has. I mean, I joke a lot about this becoming an accidental podcast, and it really has, because it started off as us just being on a video chat, just sharing our thoughts. And I'm like, well, there's some people can't make it. Might as well put it on stream so they can watch it later. And then I went, well, if we're gonna put it on stream, it can't look ugly. And then we went from that to like, hey, let's share it. I'm going to tell everyone about it. Blah blah blah. But you guys have been like really good sports, and it's been fun, kind of like growing this thing with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We talked a lot about like where this thing was going, what we want, like ambitions and what we wanted, and like, and it feels like it's been like a very we've been very in sync, and like just taking it as it comes and being open to new things, and it's just like fun doing it, like fun like developing it, and fun like doing like I really enjoyed doing all the spooky versions of the logo and the theme, and you did a great intro, Brian, with all the assets.
Thank you. I mean, you did a great job at designing them and spookifying them.
Yeah, it's like I used to. Yeah, I think I look forward to like new things within this little club universe.
Yeah,
because I want to create more stuff.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to stream more next year and do some more group streams, playing some games and some more play dates.
Again, let me know. I want to give you guys the keys to the car. If you want to ever like stream something on this channel, go for it. Like, let's get our hours up. You know, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
we'll watch each other.
I'm definitely like we should have like a QA special with my game.
Yes, that'd be amazing
for sure.
Because you can't review it because you're my friends, but you can QA it.
Well, here's the thing. I think it would be really cool to like kind of document your journey, right? Like maybe with the Q&A stream, like maybe you can show some like concept art or like concept of even like how you planned it out on a notebook or something like that. I think that'd be really cool to show people.
Yeah.
You know.
That would be really cool because I was thinking about actually doing like if the world opens up, I was thinking about, you know, like if you're an artist, you would have like when you put together a couple of images, so like you would have
the mood board.
What's vernissage in Swedish? Like
but
you would have an exhibition with kind of a party.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking that I will do this like also with my game because whether you like games or not, it's fun to see like the process and like how these characters came to life and stuff like that. So it would be fun to do like a digital version of that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for those just joining us, including Gordio2A3 that played Firewatch, Sana is working on her own indie game, which is a turn-based tactical strategy game with the theme of female Japanese biker gangs. Or something like that.
It's called Bonsozuku.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Cool.
What does that mean?
Look out for it in March 2021.
It means like running out of control vehicle tribe. It's like a Japanese name for these biker gangs.
Oh shit! Gordio's been with us since the beginning. Wow! Thanks for joining us for the whole 2 hours and 10 minutes. But yeah, that sounds super fun.
That's some good stamina.
Yeah, exactly. I fell asleep minutes ago, so it's fine. I'm sleeping with my eyes open.
Oh, Doom
Eternal fan. There you go. Looking forward to seeing that game and whatever you want to show off. We can even stream like a demo ahead of time if you want and have that host your debut party here. That'd be great. You know? Great. Any other thoughts before we move on to Indie Games Social Club's Game of the Year?
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So then how about we'll do it like this so that it's a little bit less colored by other people's opinions. Why don't you in chat type out, so you'll see if you look at our stream, there's a number 1 through 8, right? So before you hit send, just type in the number and we'll hit send at the same time on our vote for what game of the year is. Okay. And then we'll see if there's any kind of crossover. And we can get votes later on, but we'll see what is in there for the stream. All right. So let me know when everyone's typed in the number.
It's going to be sure. For me, it's going to be a toss between 3 different games.
How about put in 2 games in case there is any thing. So I'm going to put in two numbers. Put in 2 numbers.
Can I put in 8 numbers?
Even number 6?
Number 10.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, on the count of 3, hit the send button.
Wait. Hello. Okay, I'm ready.
You don't have to type out the letters to ON0, 1 or 2. All right, you guys ready? And 1, 2, 3, send. Oh, whoa.
No.
Sana, did you send?
Very different.
No, mine.
Oh, where's yours, Sana?
Mine. Oh,
there you go.
Oh, it's a tie between Aviary Attorney and Kentucky Route Zero. Nice.
I was thinking about Little Nightmares 2, but I think Little Nightmares is the best game in here, except for Oberdin, because Oberdin was amazing, but not everybody played it. but Kentucky Route Zero, like the first 15 minutes with Kentucky Route Zero stuck with me in a different way than Little Nightmares. But Little Nightmares was like an amazing experience as well. But I think because Kentucky Route Zero was so special.
Yeah.
That's why I voted on it.
Yeah.
For me,
and I didn't play Kentucky Road, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
me neither.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I
Sure.
would be interested. I want to see what the other guys think in our group message. But yeah, for me, I would say I don't think Kentucky Route Zero is a good game, but I think it was a fantastic experience. You know, like the actual game itself was kind of like, I'm not even lying when I say I like fell asleep playing sometimes, but it was so memorable and so different. And the highs and low of the game were like huge for me. So that's why that gets my vote, as well as Return of the Obra Dinn. It was such a great way to start off this club. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
Ilker and Sana, why don't you guys tell us why you chose your options? Or Ilker first, how about that?
Sana, do you want to make a case for? Oh, Sana, do you want to make a case for Aviary Attorney?
I thought it was like really funny. I thought it was. I really enjoyed the coffee, and I think that's the thing that can bother me. I mean, it bothers me that it's less invested in. I think game development in general, not anymore as much, because there's obviously an uprising in indie games, but like really well written dialogue. There's a lack of really good writers, I think. So that really, I laughed a lot. It was really like cute and smart and funny. So I really liked that.
I agree. I mean that game is it has such a good writing. But again, if I had played Kentucky Route Zero, I would probably think that game also had good writing, because the games that I put here they both rely on the writing, both Later Alligator and Aviary Attorney, and like it was so well written that you almost forgot that you're actually reading a dialogue. Like you can hear the voices, you can hear the way they say it, the tone that they're using when they're like making fun of each other, or when it gets serious. And it's also a great example of that you can do a lot with a game, just with a good story and writing, and not that much more.
That's true.
But I would say the same goes for Later Alligator, but Later Alligator also has a really good animation. I think I think the design of that game is also really well made, and again, the writing is so charming. It really leans on having a good writing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it looked like a child's cartoon that I would love to watch. You know, it was really cool.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think Ilker remembers me just like laughing hysterically at there's this alligator with long hair and a mandolin that just like plays really, really fast and like gets really uncomfortably close to the camera. And it's so funny. I want to see if I have the animated GIF of it.
Her name is Manby as well.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, there was a lot of like fun characters in that game as well. But the same goes for Aviary Attorney. I think both the lead characters, like the protagonists, are really fun, and their chemistry between them is also super fun to read about. And yeah, I would definitely watch a show with those two as well, like BoJack Horseman kind of show with Falco and was it Falco? Oh, Monsieur Falcon. And,
yeah, that's fantastic. That's really good.
Oh yeah, I don't know how we're going to decide this.
Great. I mean, I guess it's we don't have to decide right now, but like where our thoughts are right now. The most, I think, the top contenders for Game of the Year for at least the people in this room right now is Kentucky Route Zero, Aviary Attorney. Top two is Kentucky Route Zero and Aviary Attorney, but also every game for the most part were memorable, and it doesn't mean that the other games were necessarily bad. It's just like the ones that stuck out to us that made an impact were these games, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
One thing it's funny, I think we touched on this before too, is that if you look at the list 1 to 8, we have like interesting concepts, good writing, interesting concept, good Christian Newell is like good gameplay, fun gameplay. Then you have good writing, interesting concept. Interesting. Little Nightmares is interesting concept, I guess, and categorizing is good writing. Like there's not. You have one game that is based on the gameplay, but when it comes to indie games, like they all maybe they take advantage of like that it's a small game, so they can make something quirky, but it feels like so few of the AAA games are built on having a good manuscript or a good story or a good concept or like all these. They're like the biggest ones or most of them are made on like good gameplay, right? Like good gun mechanics, good good animations. So it's fun to see that Celeste could have been on here. That's all like gameplay.
I would probably say that AAA games are like judged differently because of the gameplay has to be good. Like just take the Cyberpunk the Cyberpunk thing that's been going on these past few weeks. It's under the scope, and like you're just looking at every aspect of that game, and and the gameplay is one of the big issues that people have been. Problems with it.
Mm-hmm. But then, but that's because like gameplay in Cyberpunk is like a key part. Like I don't think like do we? I don't know. Like from the top of my head, I can't think of one, of course, but probably there are. But like games that aren't like big games that are dependent on or that aren't dependent on like good gameplay, so to speak. That like rely solely on like a concept or like story writing. I'm not sure there are that many, but maybe that's like with like everything indie,
right?
That is like a too like thin target group.
Yeah, it's like indie games versus indie movies versus blockbuster movies, right? Like. You go into them expecting different things, and you don't go into an indie movie expecting like Transformers level CGI, but like you expect a really compelling, isolated story, right? And sometimes it can be just as satisfying.
But you do go into like a AAA movie and expect like a decent dialogue, and you won't get one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For sure. If you guys look at the stream right now, I put in Mandy, the serenading alligator, and that is like my spirit animal. I want Mandy on a shirt. So hilarious when she gets really close. It's like,
that reminds me of the what's that guy in the cartoon El Dorado movie?
Yeah,
Mandolin.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in forever. But yeah, like that animation. That's like 90s or like 2000s, was it?
No,
it's pretty
2000s.
Old. It's been like
El
years.
Dorado.
Yeah.
Did you know the guitar GIF, right?
There's a GIF from it?
The best GIF the internet has made is from.
Is it better than the Leonardo DiCaprio doing his smug face?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was getting confused with the Hunchback. Yeah, he's like intensely looking at you while mandolining.
Yeah,
fantastic. But yeah, I think that sums up our recap for the year. I mean, it was more structured than I thought it would be, but I think it ultimately is a good thing. What do you guys have to say about Indie Game Social Club and this year of games that we've played so far, or just in general about this club that we've started?
I love the club. It's super fun that we have this. I want to do more of it, and I have high hopes for next year.
Agree.
Thanks, Ilker.
Joined,
Thanks.
I've tried play every game. But it's like I love how you can join in and participate, but it's also like it doesn't feel like a chore in any way. It's just an amazing forum to talk about what we love, which is gaming and games, and it's really made me discover so many new games. And it's so I love it. I'm looking forward to next year as well.
Well said. Simon?
Yeah, I'm just I'm super happy that this that we did this, that like everybody's doing it, that it feels like it's like super everybody's like helping everybody maintain this kind of like casual, like I don't know, like casual like relationship to like games and like talking about games in a way. So, I mean, like basically, like I thought about this like last week, that like younger me would be like, hold on, like I'm gonna be grown up and have like be able to afford games, and I'm gonna talk about them with my friends
Yeah.
in a club. You know, it's like insane, and it's such a like such a pleasure and like you know, like hanging out with like people that you like, talking about things you like. It's like that's something that you can't really like touch on, but it's like this is a good forum for that, and I yeah, I'm super happy about it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do more.
Funny, actually, on the talk with my boyfriend today about like dreams you had when you were a child, and I remember like thinking about, oh, when I grow up, I'm gonna like eat ice cream whenever I want, and I'm gonna play games and talk about them whenever I want, and like it came true.
Yes.
So good.
Goals. You're an adult.
Like, adulthood rules.
Yeah. I did that the other day. I had ice cream for
Uh.
breakfast, and it was wonderful. It was the best
Yeah.
thing. You know? I would say.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, this year, I would say has, without getting too dramatic, has taken a lot more than it has given. We'll just say, and what it has given me is this club, and it had allowed me to reconnect with Simon regularly. It's given us an excuse to reconnect regularly, and we met 10 years ago, and we were really close back then, and we didn't see or talk to each other for years. But when we started to talk to each other again, it was like no time passed. Like we were just the same, just as close as ever. And I thought that was amazing.
Cool.
And it introduced me to you guys, who I'm like 60% sure are not Russian bots. You know, at this point, I'm fairly certain you guys are real. But like to know that at least halfway around the globe that there are people just as excited and nerdy as I am to talk about these games and get together once a month. And it makes me really happy, Sana, that you said that it's like low pressure, because I hope it always stays like that. I don't want it to feel like a job. I wanted it to feel like the opposite, which is like, I need to de-stress. I want to hop on Indie Game Social Club and fuck around with those guys for a little bit, you know, like that's the spirit of it. And I hope it stays like that, and more of that with more people like Gordio283 in the chat, you know? That's what I hope for it, you know. But yeah.
Well put.
Thank you. Any last remarks, Smultronic?
No, not really. I mean, for Gordio or the other people, if there's anyone watching this, like if you have any game suggestions, hit us up on Twitter on IGSC community. And give us some suggestions. It would be really fun to play something that comes from someone else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're really good. We're really bad about self-promotion. Don't forget to cream that follow button, subscribe, smush that, whatever.
You need to work on that.
Yeah. Brian and I have been playing Overcooked 2. It's amazing. Not sure if it's an indie game. Overcooked 2 is definitely an indie game.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Wait, do we know Gordio?
Oh, yeah. Gordio, I reconnected with him over the pandemic through Overcooked. There was like a Zoom that we
Oh,
did,
nice.
and we decided to play Overcooked together. He has a twin brother, and we played that, and it kind of was a bit of escapism. Actually, it was really nice.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Or
sweet
I've played
games, guys.
Overcooked 1. It's like, I mean, like the first 2 levels are like, this is fun, and then you come to the level with the moving tables, and from there on, like your hair's on fire like every second, and like everything is bananas. Like I can't do it, but it's fun as hell.
It's very stressful.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to play Streets of
Yeah.
Rage as well, Gordio.
Oh, Streets of Rage is fantastic. That team Gordon
Yeah.
brought up, I don't know why. I mean, maybe we'll do tryouts for Indie Game Social Club for you, Gordon, because I think you would like it. There's a physical and mental test that you have to go through. You have to give blood and urine and stool. But if you pass all those tests, then we'll let you in, you know?
Yes, stool in
And you
Swedish
need to
means
do
share, so you have to get a share.
Right.
You need to pass the Swedish test,
Yeah.
the Visa Kuken test as well.
Don't Google that. for God's sake.
Right. Gordon made a good point actually earlier about Streets of Rage 4. Whoever made that should make a Ninja Turtles game, because that would be amazing. They did such a good job with Streets of Rage. It was a very good game. Very good update.
It's on sale as well on most digital outlets, I think. At least on Switch. I'm
Highly
really-
recommend.
I think I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah, highly recommend. Its only downfall, it's only 2-player. No more than that. It was good, nonetheless. So I guess that does it. Any other thoughts? Gordio283, want to add anything? Penis emoji. Gotcha. Okay. No. Yeah, with that said, how about this? I'll play us out, and then we'll chat a little bit more in Discord, and then go our separate ways until the new year.
Okie
Huh?
dokie.
Oh, wait. Were we
Sounds good.
going
Yeah.
to...
No,
Never mind. We're not enough people. Okay,
Okay.
no, we're going to do in the
Never
chat.
mind. Let's do
Okay.
it next
no.
year.
All right. Well, that's what we'll do. With that said, thank you all for watching. Thanks for a great year of games in this shit show of a year in the pandemic. May you all play the best indie games. Live long and prosper. Love you guys all. And goodbye.
Happy New Year.
Heyo,
God jul
Happy
och
New Year.
gott nytt år.